and they still have Wicks, Thompson, Armstrong, but they've struggled this year. Does that still worry you because it's still the same names?
Oh, well, they played here last year, and, they had some success on us. You know what I mean? So it's just those guys having a new coordinator, new head coach, and, getting up to speed with a new system and being coached by different guys, just adapting and adjusting to a new quarterback coach, new position coaches as well. So, yeah, they're very talented. I mean, when we left that field last year against Wicks, I mean, he's one of the most talented route runners in the ACC. They have Thompson, number 99, who's like their Waldo everywhere, backfield, in the slot, all over on the outsides as well. And, can really catch the ball. And as you see, like when you watch that film, those first guys have a tough time taking him down. He creates a lot of missed tackles, and he's a very elusive football player. Then on the edge, who we didn't see this guy last year, number 1, Taylor, he can open up and go. And drops his hips well. Says 6'7", we'll see how tall he is, but he drops his hips very well and twitchy for that size. Then even last week with those guys being out, you saw another wave of guys step up against North Carolina and still put the ball in the end zone and be productive on offense. So they're a talented football team, and we know what we're up against and the quarterback of who we're facing.
Tony Elliott spent more than a decade at Clemson, and obviously you guys have a history with him. Are you noticing shades of those Clemson offenses and what Virginia does now?
Yeah, you're always, paying attention. Now, I think their, offense coordinator's calling it, but, you can see some influences as well and some things as we go back and watch that Clemson film and just aware of things we've seen in the past versus Clemson that they've pulled out against us. I think we've played them, 3 times in the last 4 seasons. So you're always aware, then you're comparing and matching what they're doing right now compared to what they've done previously as well. So yeah, there's some things that you do see on film.
Cory, you guys have led the conference in interceptions the last 2 seasons, but haven't been able to get it not as many this season. What do you guys have to do to get those numbers back up in the secondary?
I didn't know we led the last 2 years. We got to pick it up. But I mean, we're always constantly doing ball drills and competitive catches, contested catches, because a lot of times when you are getting interceptions, it's going to be a body on a body, especially with how we play defensively. Not just a lot of zones and tips to us. And we just got to make the most of our opportunities when those are presented. We've been in position for those interceptions. We just haven't taken it every single time. So we're continuously working on it, and being strong at the reception area and our break points and our eyes and that. So we're focusing on it. We're not overdoing it with the kids, but obviously it's in the back of their head that we need to make those plays when they come to us.
Are you tired of game planning for Armstrong, or is it nice to see a familiar face back there?
Oh, you're never tired of game planning for anybody. So, this is very different from last year. Last year, the coordinator that's at Syracuse now, and they did so many different motions and just moving everybody around. So it's a little bit different of our preparation of what we're seeing. Now he's still the same kid. He's a good gamer. You see against North Carolina at the end, him just on the goal line, just have the will to finish and get in the end zone on one of those QB runs, or if it was a scramble and finishing through somebody, as well against Miami. So, I mean, he's a tough, gritty kid, and, we're excited for the challenge. You should always be excited to face and go against the best, and, we're excited to see him for one more year and, hopefully get after it this year.
Did you pick up tendencies last year that you can use this Saturday?
But, it's a different offensive coordinator,
Right.
But now there's still things that you pick up with him and what he likes to do and go. But just being a different offensive coordinator, there's different progressions, different routes that they're running. So it's different schematically this year compared to last year facing him.
What's different about you guys? What's better about you guys compared to last year when you guys faced him and he was successful in putting up points?
Too, last year, you can't, those guys are on scholarship too. They made some good football plays. He squeezed some balls into some tight windows, and they went up and they caught some one-on-one balls, and they made those. Now, I think for us, strong finishes this year. This is something even post-practice that we're doing of just, being strong on our finish, of punching the pocket, and just all the way physical and violent all the way to the end is a big area of emphasis that we know that we have to be better better at this year than last year as we face those guys. Then, as you see, just as this secondaries continue to grow over the course of the last 2 seasons, you got guys that have been out there longer together for longer, that are more comfortable around each other as well, which should help as well. But a big thing is we have to be very, very physical in how we finish when that football's in the air on Saturday.
Eric, he was on some mid-season All-American teams, had some interceptions. But from your perspective and like what you guys ask of him, how high of a level is Eric Hallett playing at this year?
Eric's good. I mean, he's been doing a very good job. And as you say that, I don't even know if he noticed that he was on any of that stuff. He's one of the most humble kids that I've been around. He's been the same player 4 years ago, and I think we even talked about this in camp, as when he was even at that halfway point after his 3 interceptions and forced fumbles and PBUs. But the biggest thing is where he's at mentally. On Friday we get here, Eric will be in there for 2 hours just going through every single one of those receivers, their releases, what they're doing, and just from a mental aspect, and even his approach to the game plans. And we'll be in their game plan, and I'll shoot him a text to see what he feels about something, and I trust his insight of what he thinks, if we should do this versus that or not, and just his mental approach to the game right now, I think has really helped him, then helps everybody overall, because at the end of the day, that field safety is a general out there. I think he does a good job of commanding and being in charge out there in the back end.
What about instinct? How does he measure in terms of just having kind of that gene within him? It's something I think is hard to coach.
Yeah, to have 5 takeaways, you got to have instinct, right? To be able to be around that football, to get those fumbles, to be in those positions, to get his hand on the football. There's the mental aspect of understanding what's coming at you, what teams are trying to do against you. But then there's the instinctual aspect where you just got to be able to make plays, and you got to be able to put yourself in position to make those plays. And he's placed himself in some pretty good positions this year to make some plays. So, so the mental, prepares him, but you see the instincts within the play that's putting him in good spaces to be there when the football comes.
How did you see your guys respond to the challenge? North Carolina put up some numbers, but then you guys were able to rally against a team like Syracuse. Granted, backup quarterback and different scheme, and different offense, but still looked like you guys were in position, communicating a lot faster in that game.
Yeah, I think, obviously, what was that, October? October didn't go our way, as what we expected, But at the end of the day, you still come in here with standards of who you are as a unit, who you are as a player. You still have those goals as they hold up their goal cards every Tuesday morning meeting with coach, and that never changes. And the kids didn't waver. And I think that's the biggest thing, because you see teams, they can go in the tank after, maybe some disappointing losses. And I don't think those guys, or I know they didn't do it at all. And it was another opportunity. This time it was an opportunity for a top 25 team to come on our home field and us to go take something from somebody. So I thought they were, open and inviting to the challenge, just like this weekend with a great offense that we're going to see and a great quarterback. So those guys were excited for the opportunity last weekend, and you saw it put together for 4 quarters. We've played some very good quarters of football this year. It's just the 4 quarters aspect. We were finally able to put it together for 4 quarters against Syracuse this past weekend, and got to keep practicing like that and put it together for another 4 quarters this Saturday.
Can you take something like the Bills and Jets game and use that on the recruiting trail? Be like, hey, I had 3 Pitt defensive backs starting in a big NFL game like that.
I wish we could have watched it and try to pull up all those guys' PFF after the game on Monday and take a look. But, it's a pretty cool deal. You see those guys, Whitehead on the Jets, then you got DeMar and Dane on the Bills. And, even as you look at Mathis over with Denver and Pinnock with the Giants now, there's a lot of guys out there, doing well for themselves in the secondary. So, come here, we're going to, work hard and, continue to develop and train you mentally and physically. And those guys, we've had a great group come through here that, really were hungry for that and hungry to get to the next level. So it's cool to see those guys on Sunday playing.